Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Planet Zoo and Wildlife World. And today's episode, if you, as you clearly saw the thumbnail, probably, we're building an Indian rhinoceros habitat. And I wanted this habitat to be, I don't want to say interactive, but I wanted it to feel like, as far as the viewing area for the guests, like the guests feel like they're more inside of the habitat rather than most of our, actually all of our habitats so far are really just, I have like the high or like the tall habitat barrier, and then I'm using the window option so the guests can see through. But I wanted this to be a little bit more like the guests feel like they're kind of inside the habitat. So you can see I had that little loop-de-loop path there, which kind of goes into the habitat and looks down into it. So it's still obviously safe for the guests and obviously the animals too. You can see here that there's actually a pretty big change with the habitat barrier. I started making it and I realized it was just like way too big. So I actually just, I deleted what I had and I made it a lot smaller, which I think is gonna work out pretty well. I mean, it's still big as far as a habitat is concerned. It's kind of, sometimes it's kind of hard to get that sort of sense of scale when you're just building in a big open blank terrain. And then here I'm building the shelter, the hard shelter for the rhinoceros, and kind of keeping with the same Indian theme, like temple theme that we've used for, we use like on the Bengal tigers. I used it for the Indian elephant, which that habitat, just to give you kind of a sense of idea where we are, is like right across the path. So this is like literally across the street, if you will, across the path. But yeah, so like I said, just wanted this to be a little bit more like the guests feel like they're kind of inside the habitat. I also wanted it to sort of feel more secluded and not just like the guests are kind of just on the main path and watching the animals. So you'll see a little bit here later on as we're kind of going through the time lapse that at the top there, where the actual kind of observation point is, I do a lot of like large trees that kind of create like this sort of natural canopy, I guess, if you will, across the path, and two big large trees, well, a few large trees, I think, plus just the way the terrain is kind of hills up and then the habitat is sunken down. It sort of creates this sort of like natural barrier with the trees and the terrain that makes it feel, you know, sort of secluded off from the rest of the zoo. Totally intentional. I thought it would, you know, kind of be cool. It'd be different. You know, like I said, all of our habitats so far at this point have pretty much like they're just sort of on the main path and the guests can see through the like little barrier window. And then here, I forgot to record a part of this, which is why it's kind of like in progress. I'm building these walls here. So this is, like I was saying, the sort of viewing area, gallery, if you will, down into the habitat. And again, I wanted to keep with the theme. So this is that kind of Indian temple block theme. And I don't know, I was trying to go for something a little different, a little bit more, still sort of, you know, trying to keep it with the realism, but also a little bit more, I guess, fantasy in a way, something that maybe you would see like in like a Planet Coaster build, but it's not like, I don't think it's over the top, and I don't know, you'll be the judge. Like when we get into the real-time gameplay, you know, you can tell me if you think it's a little too, I guess, fake, but I don't think it is. And actually what I'm building here, I ended up I was gonna go for some sort of like glass roof kind of canopy thing, and I couldn't get it the way I wanted it to work, and I think it was mostly because the pathing is not like a perfect circle, so it just wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. So I created this like little centerpiece here, which it's nothing like really too fancy, but it was meant to just be like, I don't know, sort of like a little focal point when you're kind of walking up to the area. And also I put one of the educational boards, like the screens, on here as well, like kind of near the bottom again, which again, you know, we'll take a little bit more closer look at this piece when we get into the real-time gameplay. But yeah, just like, you know, it was, I don't know, I just thought it was kind of neat. It wasn't anything, I didn't try to build this, like make it look like anything else that I've seen. It was just sort of like, hey, let's just kind of build and see what we can come up with. And then of course, you know, I always make sure I have plenty of lights, because even though 90% of the time when I'm playing and when we're doing builds is in the daytime, obviously, because you want to be able to see, I still like to make sure that if somebody's going to see this at night, that it still looks just as good and it's not just like pitch black everywhere in the zoo. But there you can see the educational screen. Obviously, it's for the Indian rhinoceros. Yeah, just kind of like right here, just filling it up with plants, and you know me, just I always try to make everything look super thick and lush and lots of greenery and lots of trees. And we eventually, I'll get into, you'll see like the big trees. I can't honestly remember if I recorded the trees, but we're gonna see this in the real-time gameplay as well. And then yeah, here just more of the lights and making sure it looks good at nighttime. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's pretty much it for the time lapse. So let's jump into the real-time gameplay. Okay, and here we are, and here is one of our Indian rhinoceroses. We actually have two, but one of them was like immediately diseased when he came in, so he's at the vet right now getting a nice checkup, and he'll be back here shortly. But so here is the completed habitat, which, at least as far as inside the habitat, with the exception of probably this side, this needs a lot of work, but I consider this really to be outside the habitat, because I am using, you're probably looking at this, maybe you're looking at this going, but the habitat barrier ends. I'm actually along this way, all the way around here. I'm using the invisible barrier because the rhinoceroses, I don't know what the plural is of that, rhinoceri, they can't escape from over here anyway. So plus it just looks, I think it looks a lot nicer. And plus, once we get more detail over here, it's going to look better anyway. But yeah, so this is the little viewing area, and I think it came out really cool. I ended up putting one of these really long tall trees in here because I thought it was like kind of neat to make it look like this little centerpiece was sort of built around the tree. And I don't know, it's just kind of like, it's unique and it's different, and I don't know, I like it. You guys can let me know what you think, but I think it's pretty cool. And then so we have like our nice little education screen there, and I think it turned out really cool, and the guests have a nice view into the habitat. You're kind of standing over here, you feel like you're kind of like inside the habitat, right? I think so. We're actually a little bit low. If you can try and get like guest view, this is probably pretty close to like the guest level right here. So you can like, you get like right on the edge here. You can see everything you need to see. There's nothing you can't see. If they decide to go for a swim, you can see them down there. You can come over here and just watch him sleep. He's literally has been sleeping this entire time. And oh, there he goes. He's getting up now. Actually, that is our male. Raghav. Raghav. So yeah, this is our lady's back. She's feeling much better. And Nusuka. She's no longer diseased. Look at these guys. Aw. I love the animals in this game so much. They look so good. We had a lot of fun with the elephants in the last episode. They're so fun to watch. And was it? I don't remember if it was in the last episode or the live stream, but we have a baby elephant now. Don't worry, he's sleeping. He's not. He's not dead. Oh, we got a little baby elephant. Oh, look at this guy. Oh my god, look at him sitting like that. I totally didn't plan this. This is just happening on the fly. It's our little baby elephant. So we have a nice little elephant family. So this, you can see what I was talking about, how the rhinoceros habitat is right across the way here. Have like a nice little kind of uphill walk, and then you come through here. And then you can see what I was talking about, sort of the natural canopy. I'm probably going to do, or bring these little wall pieces all the way down here, or at least maybe right here before it kind of slopes down. And then same with the trees, like I'm going to build all of this up right here with lots of trees to make it so it kind of hangs over the entire path, which I think will be really cool, because then you kind of pop out here and it's more like open a little bit, with the exception of obviously you have that big tree there. And I think it's looking really good. This are, oh, you gonna go play in the mud? Yeah, play in the mud. Let's watch him play in the mud, shall we? There you go. Oh, you gonna roll around? There it is. Yeah, roll around in that mud. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, enjoy that mud. That's what it's there for. Enjoy your life. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. But I think that looks really cool from far away, right? Like, it's a little bit more of like on the fantasy side, I feel like, because it's sort of built into the tree, but still sort of like realistic at the same time. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, this is kind of where we are. Also, I don't know if you guys heard, it was actually announced today, same day I'm recording this, Planet Zoo is getting its first DLC. It's coming on, what is that? What is the date? On the 17th, Tuesday the 17th. It is the Arctic pack, and I'm pretty, oh, rhinoceros butt, we don't need to see that. Actually, I'm pretty excited about it. It's a whole, obviously it's called an Arctic pack, so that's going to be the theme. We are getting 2 new scenarios, 2 new maps. We are also getting 4 animals, polar bear, reindeer, Arctic wolf, and the doll sheep, which I'm pretty excited about that. I'm really excited about the polar bears. I've wanted polar bears from like the very start. That was like one of the first animals I wanted when Planet Zoo was announced, so I'm happy to see them. It's also going to come with, there's going to be over 200 new building and scenery and foliage pieces. Judging from the screenshots, there's new like Arctic rock pieces, I'm guessing, you know, maybe some Arctic specific plants and things. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to diving into that pack, because I think it is going to be pretty cool, and I think it'll be a cool sort of side addition to add into, oh, you're going into your shelter, into a wildlife world. I think it would be really cool to add a little Arctic section, like maybe over here, like we could do something off this way, possibly. And it would kind of fit anyway, because we have the timber wolves, which they like, even though there isn't snow over here, they do like the cooler temperatures, so it would be kind of fitting maybe, I think, to put it over there. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. The rhinoceros episode, as I'm going to dub it. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. So let me know what animals you guys would like to see in the zoo. I still, for the Asian section here, I still want to do red pandas, and I think it's the giant panda, just the regular, your classic black and white panda. And then we're gonna be moving on to the African area, and plus we're gonna have a new unplanned area with the Arctic section. But let me know what animals you guys would like to see, and we'll see about adding them in there. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So as always, be sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.